How's it going, everybody? This has been a highly requested video where you should be spending your gold promos. This is an updated list. I think it's been about 3 patches since we've done one of these. So lots of new characters to talk about, lots of newly farmable characters to talk about. I do want to give you a forewarning. If you are a free-to-play spender and you're salty, when you see this list, you're going to think, damn, Darky, this is spending. This is only what spenders would do. And it's like, you need to understand what you're trying to accomplish for your roster. So if I'm putting a character in a certain place, I'm talking about where they're usable, why they do what they do, and then you need to internalize that. Don't look at this list and be like, I need to do every single one of these things. Okay, this is going to be a priority list, and then fill in your own needs and wants. I hope you enjoy the video. Take care. Let's start this off with the no-brainer list. Like, these are characters that change the game, okay, with higher stars. And I know you're going to see 3 new characters here, and you're going to be thinking, what the heck, Dorky? Like, this is ridiculous already. And it is. Look, this was a video that was requested about how to spend gold promos. People who bought those calendars, or the people who have a lot of gold promos, are also the kind of players that do buy offers. So this was requested by them, so we're putting it out there. So right off the gate, Kang. He is, and we're going left to right. This is the priority, left to right. Kang is the most influential character to your roster with higher stars. Get him to 7 red as fast as you get him to 7 yellow. It's an amazing upgrade to him. Then we have the 3 secret defenders. You can kind of argue between Photon and Hardlight, who's more important to have higher red stars on here. Like, if Hardlight survives the Apocalypse Ultimate, like, it's even easier to get through those matches. But I would suggest every single time you get an additional yellow star on these characters, as soon as you get them to 5, put the 5 red. As soon as you get them to 6, put the 6 red. As soon as you get them to 7, put the 7 red on these characters. The shelf life for the Secret Defender team is not going to be a year. It's going to be 2 years, 2.5. Think of like what Darkhold is right now. Do you think Darkhold is out of the meta yet? Do you think Morgan's already gone? All these characters mechanically have more interesting components to their kit than the Darkhold tertiary members do. So I really like these 3. I think they're going to stand the test of time for a while. Icarus, what more can you say? Getting that double tap changes matchups. I've been using Icarus with like Apocalypse. I know that's, he's with Apocalypse, but without Icarus, then he wouldn't be able to beat Super Skrull. So it's like, that's super duper helpful. It's a Apocalypse Eternal team with a pre-taunt to help beat Super Skrull teams. And then there's in War. If he gets that double tap, it's a wrap. It's done. It's over. All the Scourge events that he's been involved with, he's an amazing, amazing character. And I don't think the Eternals are going anywhere anytime soon. I think what's more likely to happen to the Eternals is we're going to get 3 not awful members, but kind of suboptimal that's going to mode specific them. Like for Dad Bros, for instance, like we only had Shatterstar and Longshot for the longest time, and then we had Multiple Man and Polaris added in to kind of round out them as a war team. So I kind of think that's going to happen with Eternals for Crucible or for War, whichever one. Not anytime soon, because they're still fantastic, but maybe in like 8 months from now, we'll be seeing a couple more Eternals added to make them mode specific and make them, as good as Wakanda was when they were first made into a Crucible team. Something like that. Val, I think Val is self-explanatory. She's a raid god. And the Bifrost team, they're definitely going to be used in the next raid tier. Like I would suggest that the teams most susceptible to getting knocked out of the raid rotation on the next raid tier is going to be Rebirth first, which is why they're not really going to make this list, and then Invaders. I think Deathseed, Bifrost, and whatever this new tech team, probably Green Goblin kind of team, is going to be usable in the next iteration of the Incursion raids. So she makes the list. And then Spiderweaver. Don't sleep on Spiderweaver. I know there's a lot of not hate, but just a lot of like side glances at her recently because of Quicksilver being better in Dark Dimension. That doesn't mean she's a bad character. We still use this character all the freaking time to annihilate people. Think about her use with 2099 in War against Infestation to save your Nowhere team. Think about her use to take out, Quicksilver Darkhold teams in Crucible. She is still an amazing, amazing character, and thank God she's not Dark promo credits. So this is your no-brainer 7 red star list. Let's go over, we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna do a live tier list creation for 6 red stars, and then if you are a heavy spender, you have good red stars on these characters already, you have a bunch of gold promos, then I would suggest bringing them up to 7 to match these guys. But make sure you have enough to bring these guys up first. let's go do that. So here we are at our 6 red star list. Now let's have a frank conversation with the difference between spenders and non-spenders. If you bought the 2 calendars recently, you all of a sudden have so much gold promos to play with. Maybe you already have a couple of these characters at 6 red star anyway, maybe a couple at 7, so you kind of default down to others. My point is, this list for 6 red stars quickly becomes a 7 red star list if you also bought all those gold promos. Especially for like the newer characters, if you have them at higher yellow stars, quickly becomes a list for that. So what we're actually gonna do this live, is I'm gonna start ranking where I think the characters go. We're gonna clean it up as far as the priority goes. And what you can take away from this is going to be up to down, left to right. That's the priority where I would be upgrading these characters. And I'll explain why briefly for each character. And then if we have further conversation you guys wanna have at a later date, that's perfectly fine. So somebody that normally makes the list to auto 7 red stars is Kestrel. So I'm actually gonna put her at number 1. Look, great war, great crucible. She got the gimmick with no summons coming out. She's been usable for so long. Her damage is still really high, and everyone has to build her up to 17 for the Apocalypse unlock. So that makes perfect sense to me. And now we get to go off the rails. Now it's gonna get a little bit spicy. So what I'm gonna do next is let's go for Beta Ray Bill, and I'm actually gonna put Beta Ray Bill in the C category. It's a raid character. Yes, very good in Crucible right now, but for like free-to-play players, by the time you have him at 6 yellow, 7 yellow, he's probably not going to be a Crucible character anymore, because that team is dog doo-doo when it's not being buffed by raids, right? So let's take that out of the equation. Now let's go Coulson. Now I'm actually going to go up and throw Coulson at a B ranking, because he is going to be getting reworked for the new Avenger team. People are hating on that team. We'll have a video out soon about that. It's not going to be a bad team. It's going to be a good war offensive team. It's probably not going to be as good as Nowhere, but it'll be probably on par with like A-Force, probably on par with Underworld. So it's still going to be a very, very good team, and it's a new team, and it's used for the whatever the legendary event's going to be, so that makes sense to me. And for that reason, I'll also throw Thing right beside him. Now we get into a much more mode-specific builds. And when I think about mode specific, I value raids more than anything. One thing you're gonna notice here, there's no invaders on this list besides Nick Fury, and that's because Nick Fury can carry an invader team in the raid scenario. So we're gonna throw him right up there. And then we're gonna start looking at our Death Seed members. I love the Death Seed team. So we're gonna throw Nemesis and Dark Beast there. Phenomenal raid, obviously. I think they're gonna have the longevity to still be used in the next raid, but they're also usable in War, especially with the new mutant rules, and they're usable in Crucible, so that's fantastic there. Speaking of raid characters, let's go ahead and grab some more of our Bifrost members. I do think Bifrost is going to still be usable in the next raid. I think it'd be ridiculous if they weren't. They're not good in War, and they're not going to be in Crucible as soon as this raid rule thing is gone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Team Loki right beside Beta Ray Bill, but I'm actually going to give Sylvie the nod. She's going to get B tier, and she's going to be pretty high up there in B tier. In my opinion, she's like the second most important character on that team. Obviously, Loki gets her to go, but that's fine. And now, so now we're pretty much off the raid track, right? No more raid characters. Okay. So it's going to heavily depend on what mode you prefer. So I'm going to be listing the War and Crucible characters in such a way that is thinking I like both of them evenly. So if it's a War character I'm talking about, and the Crucible character comes before them, but you don't care about Crucible, you care about War, then shift that over. Okay, so a couple characters that flex to both. Omega Red, he's definitely going to get A tier. He's also usable in the event that just passed for Black Cat when that comes back around. For the same reason, we're going to give a nod to Taskmaster. War, great, not so good in Crucible, but the legendary event. And he makes his War team pop. He really does. After that, I got to give a nod to Gamora still. Just the heart and soul of that Infinity Watch team. If she can get some damage off, first of all, it's amazing in War. Secondly, in Crucible, if you make some mistakes, she gets a reset on her ultimate. And the second turn, she annihilates somebody, ruins efficiency. So she kind of is a good flex fit for both of those. After that, we are going to go Spider-Woman. Such an important War character. If this was a super biased list, I would have Spider-Woman much higher, because if you don't have Spider-Woman built up super high and you have like a mid-lane Photon, then your A-Force or your AP Force, whatever you want to call it, cannot touch Gammas. And so you really need her built up. So I really, really value her use in War. And she's going to get a little bit of use in Crucible, but not too much. Hela. Hela's like, you would think Hela's like here, right? Because of her use in War and Crucible. However, she doesn't really need the stats except to survive. I'm going to go ahead and throw her in B tier here, but we're going to move her past Sylvie. She's going to take precedence over Sylvie. Kingpin, he gets play in Crucible and in War. His minions being extra strong from the Red Stars is very important for their use in War. He'll get B tier, and I think he's going to move past Sylvie here as well. Nico, I'm going to put Nico C tier. I do think that she's very much worth it, but definitely not more than these other characters. Probably over here, though, because I do think they're going to be fine lower down the totem pole. Oh, let's do Cersei. This is going to be a controversial one. She's going to go D tier. Yeah, Cersei's going to go D tier because like her damage is nice. You're very rarely pairing her with Loki to make her go before Icarus to help the double tap. So it, like her having extra damage is kind of irrelevant. Like you're more likely to use Spider-Woman to try and help Icarus get a double tap now, or another super fast character. Maybe Kestrel's tied with Cersei. It's not a good call out, I guess, but I think you understand my point. So yeah, she's pretty far down the list. And next to her would be Wong. Darkhold's not falling off. Like they're still there, but they're not what they used to be. So it makes sense. Wong still makes this list. Same with Heartless. But it would be like in this order. Definitely Heartless would go before Cersei. Wong would go after Cersei. Gambit, really, really good Crucible character, but his team kind of sucks. Definitely C or B for him. I'm going to put him in the B. No, he'll go C tier, but he's going to go all the way at the very front. Cloak and Dagger, amazing characters. I'm going to put both of them in the A tier, especially for this current Crucible season. They're also usable in the Nova Trials, so it makes sense to put them there. Spider-Man 2099, he's what Cersei used to be, right? So having Red Stars on him now will benefit you more than it will in the future. My only concern is where does he fit in here? He's probably right here. Yeah, I'd still put him right there. Infinity War Thor, like just really fun character, really good for the Black Cat trial, and really, really good in War. I'm gonna put him over here beside Nico. Mr. Negative, same thing. He'll go beside Nico in the same way. Like the way that these three characters affect their war teams, this is about what I would say the difference is. Firestar, she's gonna go B tier. She'll go over Sylvia as well, though. And then Black Panther 1 million, he is both War and Crucible. Don't forget, War Dogs are great in Crucible. Where would he go, though? He kind of gets the team to pop off. Since you have it on offense and you cover the team in defense downs, that could be very helpful. I think he'll go B tier. Yeah, definitely B tier because he really helps his War team pop off. But Nakia is more important in War, but she's useless in Crucible. I think that's a great place for Black Panther 1 million. So this would be my tier list. So this would be like this is a great list of characters to bring up to 6 Red Stars. And then if you did buy the offers, then I would actually suggest that you could bring these characters even higher, up to 7 Red Stars. For the record, I have brought in, I didn't naturally get all these characters. I brought in, because I bought the calendar, every single one of these characters to 7 Red Stars, except for Firestar, who I just got 7 yellow, so she'll be done soon. Sylvie, who I will not get 7 yellow anytime soon. Infinity War Thor, who as soon as I get him to 7 yellow, I'll pull the trigger on that. And the other 2, Bifrost. Everyone else I have at 7 Red Stars. So, practice what you preach. A lot of you have been asking for this because of those gold calendars. So if you're watching this, you're like, why are you suggesting so many characters? Why no one gets as many gold promos? Please understand that this is like a requested video. But yeah, the character we talked about beforehand, guys, do them to the moon. As soon as you get 7 yellows on Kang, he needs to be your top priority. Every single time you get an extra yellow star on a Secret Defender, they need to be your top priority. Icarus is way more important than all these characters. He's so much better in all the modes. Same with Weaver, and of course, same with Val. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you disagree on certain things, if you think I missed some characters. I know I didn't put any invaders in here. If you did buy the calendars and you had good Red Star luck on these characters, maybe you have other options. And then I start looking at the kind of deeper into the War characters, what I look at. I look at the Lady Deathstrikes. I look at the Nakia. I look at the Black Panther. I even look at the Titania for Crucible. So if you had good luck getting Red Stars the natural way, then you start defaulting to those tertiary characters that really help fuel these teams. But yeah, let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. Have yourself a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.